Sonic Highways is a documentary series and also an album. It started with the idea of telling the story of these studios around America. Then it sort of grew into the idea of telling the story of the history of music in America and following the band from studio to studio, recording a different song in each studio, making our new record, where the album is actually about all of these stories.
Well, I feel like it was around the end of when we were out doing shows for the Sound City movie. I think that's when Dave first told us that that was his idea for the next thing. And to which my response was, wait, aren't we on hiatus? Cool, hiatus is over.
We were doing the Sound City Players tour. We going around playing songs from that record with people that were part of the movie, and Dave just threw it out one time, like, how about we go and record every song in a different city around the world, and then film it and make a documentary series. Like, okay, and then it became what it eventually became over time.
The idea just kind of changed and tightened up, and then from that I was like, well, maybe we should pick studios that mean something to us personally, or just as specifically is a music town or whatever it was, and it just kind of ended up being like that. Some of them were just so obvious, like how about the studio where Dave recorded the first Foo Fighters record on his own, or whatever it was. Sometimes they were just too obvious not to do.
It started out maybe a little bit broader, in Europe as well, and England, everywhere. But that became logistically, on every level, I think the idea of paring it down to America too was good for us,
I mean, it sounded good. There's a world of possibilities. That could be a number of different things, take an entire recording setup and crew into all these different places and camp out there. Okay, we're gonna go on an Airstream. Like, what's that gonna look like?
There were definitely a couple of moments where I was like, come on, Rhoda, let's not manufacture the vibe. Just follow us around if you want to follow us around. But
yeah, sometimes they had field trips for us.
Yeah, we did a lot of field trips, but that was actually good because it forces you to get out and there were a bunch of things that I wouldn't have experienced if we hadn't have,
sure.
If it wasn't for Jim Rhoda, one of the producers, going like, okay, we're going to the guitar store now. Let's go. We're going to the record store now. We're going to the Wolf Sanctuary. We would not have been going to the Wolf Sanctuary if that wasn't a band organized event.
We're so used to being mic'd up and cameras in our faces now that was just like, well, of course we're going to have cameras and mics on us, but what's the outcome going to be this time,
At the finale of each episode, we perform the song that you've seen us writing in the studio as we're interviewing all these different people. And the lyrics of the song are inspired by the stories from all of these people.